Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I had a call yesterday from a charity asking me to donate some of my clothing to the starving people throughout the world. You know what I told them? I told them to buzz off, and the reason was anybody who can fit into my clothes isn't starving. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Good morning. We need a patriot to call in with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. Well, good morning. Welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. Service, the key word from those folks, along with some of our great advertisers, and that's, of course, Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and our friends at Valley Wine Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valley Wide. Well, let's say good morning to our Pledge of Allegiance person. Good morning.
Zeb?
Uh-huh.
I would be more than honored to do it.
Okay, but you got to put a little verve, a little zest, a little uplifting in that. You would be more than what?
I would be more than honored to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
There you go. Give it to us, young man.
All right. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, thank you very much. And right now, I want to have some more calls this morning. And by the way, I want to talk about yesterday's segment that we had on from 10 to 11 in just a moment. Right now, it's time for the weather from Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Kyle Cheney's going to be on the program with us later on this morning. And they're located at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door for whatever you need to make your house a home. Carpet, I bit my tongue. Carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, everything at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 678-6945. And don't forget, Thrifty Thursdays. And here's what I like. Deanne would like this idea. Save some cash by going to thrift stores and finding unique pieces to turn into masterpieces for your home. Aha! Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Right now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. It's going to be another hot day as this high-pressure system is going to stick around for, at least until next week. Looks like sunny skies for today. Winds out of the south right around 12 miles an hour. Expect a high of 92 for today. Tonight, low of 57. Tomorrow, sunny and 95. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, expect triple digits, anywhere from 100 all the way up to 105. So make sure you stay cool, keep yourself hydrated. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
All right, thank you very much for that weather forecast. And brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Hey, Merv May, come on in here and sell some steers.
All right, a good set of steer calves there. Here, $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5.
Oh, you better believe it. That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, in my opinion. I'll tell you what, Merv May is good, along with Cade Rogge and Lance Udy. Burley Livestock Sale Yard today. Sale time at 10:30. The sale that works for you at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And the number to call, 678-9411. Vanderbeck Dairy over to Paul, bringing in some butcher cows this morning, along with the BTLK Dairy, butcher cows, Bootjack Dairy of Shoshone, butcher cows, and a really good line coming in from the trailer line. And you know what Murph told me this morning? He said, Zeb, don't forget to acknowledge again how much we at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard acknowledge June Dairy Month and thank all our dairymen for an excellent job. Today's sale day at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard at 1030, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, you get set of steer calves there. Here to get $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3, 1.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, $7.35. Zeb Bell, get the bottom again.
Yeah, I thank you very much, Merv. I want to say something about yesterday's segment with Ben and Lacey Thompson and how honored I was to have them on my program yesterday. A husband and wife team, and I have the utmost respect. Lacey, of course, in a wheelchair from a devastating accident that took place when she was a mere baby. And what she's accomplished with her skiing career and everything else she's done, and Ben right by her side as her husband. And yesterday on the segment, I was a little concerned. Because at the end of the hour, we had not received any phone calls during the interview with Ben and Lacey. And I thought, wow, I mean, it was really uplifting, and they are such wonderful young people. But then I started getting calls, and one in particular from my dear friend George Mass this morning kind of summed up the feelings of many of you and made me feel good all over. George said, Zeb, I didn't want to call because I didn't want to miss one single word of what they had said on the program. And that meant a lot to me. And so I tip of the resistol here this morning to Ben and Lacey Thompson for coming on our program. And then they stayed here yesterday. And we had lunch together and had a chance to really get to know each other. And we're going to be doing some projects, hopefully, together over the next year. So, wonderful, wonderful young couple, Ben and Lacey Thompson. They live up in the Fairfield areas, and we wish them the best. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. They open the doors at 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday. You heard the weather forecast. You were listening like I was. Next week it could get up to 105. Woo! Put on some deodorant and get some new air filters. Caller, I'll be right with you. Don't go away. For your air conditioner, make sure it's working good. Stop into Ramsey Heating and Electric today. And they're at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they always provide warm winters and cool summers. Stand by, caller. I'll be right there. I want to remind everybody also about Valley Wine Home and Ranch at 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch. And they've got all your bug spray, fly spray. I went out by the barn last night and I thought I was under attack. Holy smokes, the bugs and the flies are getting thick out there in that hot weather. And they've got everything to kill them dead right there at Valley Wine Home and Ranch. And don't forget 4-H'ers. Show your 4-H card and you get a 10% discount on what you buy for your 4-H project. So get on in there to Valleywide today at 910 South Oneida in Rupert. And Sean, Mandy, the whole crew serving you at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Caller, good morning, and thank you for your call. Talk to me, caller. Go ahead, please.
I was spellbound yesterday by that interview. Did my heart good to know there's still people out there that willing to overcome their challenges and make a life for themselves instead of just expecting somebody else to do it all for them.
You know, and I really respect your remark this morning because Ben and Lacey and what they've done and how they've lived and loved each other and accepted what they have to bear through the rest of their life is absolutely amazing. And I was so honored to have them on my program. And you're not, that wasn't the last you're going to hear of them, especially through my show. So stay tuned in the future. We've got a couple of things in the mix, and I think you'll appreciate it.
Yeah, I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, you had a gal on from Arlington Cemetery that had donated a lot of time to help with graves and stuff like that. And I think those stories are super for people to hear. I know you have to spend a lot of time trying to bring to our attention all the problems in the world, but it's also wonderful when we hear stories where people do good things.
You know, God bless you, and I mean that in every sense of the word. It's not just a flippant remark. God bless you for what you said this morning. And part of what we're going to be doing in the future with Ben and Lacey and others that are suffering from some physical challenges that they've looked in the eye and said, you're not going to whoop me, and we're going to go ahead and have much more on the air in the future. So thank you so much for your kind remarks.
Thank you.
God bless. Thank you very much. That was nice. Very nice. Don't forget Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Oh, that's nice too. Oh, I love the food. I'm partial to breakfast, and they've got absolutely the best in breakfast menus, lunch and dinner, great service, smiles on their faces. You're going to love it. It's the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch at the 611 Overland location in Burley. And also, don't forget, they've got one at a brand new one at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Yep, it is good eating at Denny's Restaurant. You stop in and see them today. 611 Overland in Burley. Also, I want to make this news note. We'll take that call in just a moment. Yesterday with Dave Bigo, and Wheels, if you're listening, we found the problem with why the phone was cutting out with Dave Bigo, and it had nothing to do with us here in Idaho, nothing to do with K-Bar, nothing to do with anything out here. The phone company back in Indianapolis last week on Wednesday and again yesterday was working at his office complex, and they messed it up 2 weeks in a row. So, Wheels, it had nothing to do with us. There we go. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday was a very interesting and lovely program you had about that couple up there in Fairfield.
It's nice of you to say, Al. I appreciate that.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people with their handicaps and that, and I admire them when they get up and show more gumption and guts than any three people on the continent.
Well, in the case of Ben and Lacey, and I hope you're not offended if I say this, the case of Deanne and I, working as a team, and you can get through anything.
That's right.
All right.
They work together and they get it done. So I compliment them kids, and I hope they have a long and happy life with what they're doing.
Oh my gosh, I learned more about sled dogs and racing sled dogs yesterday, and how to ski downhill on a single blade sitting on it at 80 miles an hour, of which at this age right now I'm 67. I really don't think I'm going to try.
Well, I don't think you'd be good enough to be, you know what I mean? I don't think we better put you on a dog sled. You can't even handle a lawnmower.
See you later, Al. Have a good day.
You bet.
Right. Thank you much. I knew that slam was a-coming. Anyway, good morning, everybody, and give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Barry Equipment and Rental. Nick, Eli, everybody. I'll tell you what, they've got the equipment to get the job done right for you. 3 locations, South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, they got 0% financing until June 30th, coming up quick on Walker Mowers. No payment for up to 120 days. Check it out. Walker Mowers are really great at Barry Equipment and Rental, and they're located again, Twin Falls, Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it really warms my heart to hear people who have a physical disability, but not a mental disability. And as what I mean by that is you can have a problem in your life that holds you back and just be like you. I mean, I didn't know up until I was 12 years old that you walked on crutches. You know, you use crutches to get out. I didn't know that. All I knew is you were the funny guy at the rodeo that I liked to go to every year and hear and made fun of the clown. You know what I mean? And then I run into you, and the things you do and the things you've done, you are a great example to a lot of people with physical disabilities in the area.
Well,
and, I commend you for that. That takes a lot of guts and gumption to get up in the morning and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I got to do it, and I'm going to have at it.
Well, I appreciate your remarks, and it means a lot, Riley. And I tell you what, Ben and Lacey, they're such a they're meshing of gears, if you understand what I mean. The teeth are coming together, and the machine is working, and they're a couple that I just really want to hold in high regard and have them back on the program. But your kind remarks meant a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing you. That was good. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what everybody else is saying. In your job and what you do, you kind of count on people to call in, but when it's that compelling and it's that good, nobody wants to call in because they don't want to miss anything.
Well, that means a lot to me.
It's really refreshing to have something like that. I know you're supposed to bring us all the news and what's happening in the world, and it's not always so good. It's so nice to have things like that.
Well, I appreciate that. And, we have to walk a fine line here in this business, and I don't care what talk show it is, to make sure that we're providing the services of the news honestly, a portrayal of the news honestly, and then also try to throw in a little bit and taste of what's still good in the world, and they were good in the world, Ben and Lacey.
Yeah, and it is nice. We do need to know what's going on, but it is really good to hear about people who can still do things for themselves, even with disabilities, and they still do. Pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and that's just good to hear sometimes.
I appreciate your kind remarks, sir, and God bless you, and have a wonderful weekend, okay?
You too.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Wow, I got all bubbly-eyed here this morning. That means a lot to me when you give that kind of a compliment. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Woo! My eyes are sweating. I don't know why. I want to remind everybody about BASF and my good friend Ron Ellis. BASF with the chemicals and the research to help grow our crops bigger and better. And don't forget, for potato growers, Preaxor for black dot control. And also, white mold is going to be an issue with potatoes, and BASF controlled the problem with Endura. And it helps once it's applied, it dries on the plant and redistributes down through the canopy of the plant with irrigation or rainfall, and it helps fight early blight. Check on all the great products for your crops from BASF. Excellent research for you, the farmers in this area. Contact your fieldman or your crop advisor and Ron Ellis at 431-6776. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Those kind remarks this morning meant an awful lot, and we do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Rupert's going to have their great big 4th of July celebration coming up, and it's just a matter of days. 89th annual Salute to Our Troops, this year's theme. And it's going to start on June 30th with the Christmas in July breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning. Get up, George. And that's at the city park, and then of course they're going to have entertainment every day. It's going to be fantabulous, and great food booths, and they're going to have lawnmower races on July 3rd at 6 p.m. at the fairgrounds. Holy cow, horse races on the 4th of July. It's going to be a dandy occasion. And that's the 89th annual Rupert 4th of July celebration with the theme this year, Salute Our Troops. All right, give us a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention on a subject that is very close to me over the last 2 months, and I've taken some heat over this, and I've taken some slanderous remarks about being bigoted and a hate monger, and you've heard the story before, you know the drill. But this morning in the Times News, I feel like I've been vindicated, along with others, that have been sitting up and telling you that there is a situation to worry about with the Muslim refugees coming into and through the refugee program at the College of Southern Idaho. Now, for those of you that have a newspaper in front of you, I want you to look at today's newspaper, the Times News, and look at the headline, the top story. It says, lawmakers voice concerns over Syrian refugees. Now, I want you to read the first paragraph of that story written by Julie Wooten of the Times News. I will read it for you if you don't have a copy. A U.S. House of Representatives subcommittee voiced concerns yesterday, about incoming Syrian refugees, saying security checks are inadequate. What have I been saying? But now here is the crux of what I want to get at this morning. And pay close attention to this, please. Julie Wooten of the Times News wrote that story for today's headline, and she said the U.S. House of Representatives voiced concerns yesterday. If you will recall, 3 weeks ago, with Randy Givens out of Austin, Texas, talking about Representative McCall saying 3 weeks ago, there is no way to properly vet refugees coming into the United States. My angst against the Times News, my angst against this writer, Julie Wooten, for saying basically, oh, well, this all just kind of happened yesterday. No, it did not. It's been going on for quite some time with Representative Michael McCall of Texas and others that have been voicing concerns about a lack of security, a lack of knowledge, a lack of screening, a lack of knowing who these people are. And I am frustrated, really frustrated, that the College of Southern Idaho, the Times News, are either absolutely naive as to what's going on or not going on, or the money from the federal government is so enticing that common sense and the word no are not going to be used. I want your opinion on this. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Julie, if you're listening out there this morning, I would love to have you call in and explain how all of a sudden, oh my, a box was open and there's something inside, and yesterday this just happened. No, it didn't. I've been saying this for over 3 weeks. And all of a sudden, you just have a headline saying, oh, they're voicing concerns. My goodness. Mount Harrison Audiology, and that's with Christine Pickup. And Christine, if you're listening, I forgot yesterday to call you. I apologize. Doctor of Audiology at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. The number to call for a hearing screening appointment. And I got to tell you, it's absolutely painless, and it's absolutely worthwhile if you have a hearing problem. I did it, and I'm so glad I did. 312-0957, 312-0957. And don't let your hearing deteriorate. Check it out today. Call for an appointment at Mount Harrison Audiology. Right now, here is the Capital Press Ag Minute.
Today's Ag Minute brought to you by the Capital Press, the West Ag Weekly.
Ranchers shouldn't expect veterinarians to automatically approve use of medically important antibiotic in livestock feed or water under new federal guidelines, a university expert warns. Vets will have to consider a variety of factors when filling out directive forms, including whether an alternative is available, whether the use matches the label on how drug use could impact antimicrobial resistance. A veterinarian can only approve use if he or she has an existing vet-client relationship with a producer, including knowledge of the facilities and examination of the animals. Producers shouldn't expect quick approvals and should contact the veterinarians well ahead of use, says Michael Apley of the Kansas State University. For the Capital Press Ag Minute, I am Raul Pena.
For more agriculture news and information, turn to the West Ag Weekly, the Capital Press, and CapitalPress.com.
Brought to you by a lovely lady, the Doctor of Audiology, Christine Pickup at Mount Harrison Audiology, and I urge you to get a hearing screening today at 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology. Hey, I'll tell you what, before we get back in and take some more of your calls, and I really do want your calls this morning on this other subject, let's have a good word for this Silver State Stampede.
Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, thunders into Elko July 9th, 10th, and 11th for family entertainment at its best. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of rodeo riders going head-to-head in one of the world's toughest sports, rodeo. The action kicks off on Thursday with the annual kickoff party, including a tri-tip dinner, mutton busting, the Old West bronc riding, and dancing to the music of the Jeff Palmer Band. Things heat up on Friday and Saturday with PRCA rodeo action, the Ring of Fear, mutton busing, and all the fun, music, and dancing you can handle. And don't forget on Saturday, it's tough enough to wear pink. Pick up your tickets today at Roy's, the J.M. Capriola Company, the Boot Barn, IFA, or the Elko Chamber Office. Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, thundering into Elko July 9th, 10th, and 11th. Family entertainment at its very best.
Oh, my Elko, the home of the Silver State Stampede. Thank you very much. Hey, by the way, on Mondays, we give away a half dozen delicious cinnamon rolls from Sophie's Chatterbox, and they're located at 530 East Street in Rupert, right on the square. Open 6 to 6 weekdays, 6 to 2 weekends. Great breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're going to love the cinnamon rolls from their bakery at Sophie's Chatterbox. Really, really good. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I know the College of Southern Idaho would probably have me shut up on this subject, but I'm not going to, because we have cried wolf on this thing for longer than actually 3 weeks ago. Actually, I started crying wolf on this as I went through some of my archives and the papers and the notebooks and the programs over 2.5, 3 months ago. But why all of a sudden now is there this revelation that lawmakers voice concern about Syrian refugees when we've been voicing concern about this program for a long time? And also, I said on this show on at least 6 occasions that terrorists have made it known, and I'm reading from Julie Wooten's story. She used almost exactly the same words I've told you on this program for months. Terrorists have made it known they want to manipulate the refugee settlement system to send people to the United States to carry out attacks. And also, it's been stated many, many times that the vetting process is not very complete or comprehensive, because we don't really know who these people are. We don't have the background checks. We don't have the information. They don't have the computer profiles. We're basically taking their word for it. I am very concerned. And then we have someone like Deborah Silver, an accountant in Twin Falls, that is going to head up a support group for the refugee center. And she says everything is fine, everything's first class. How in the world would she, an accountant, have any idea as to what is being done or not being done? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, it's really sad, but what you're saying is absolutely right on. There hasn't been the checks and so forth. But why is all the turmoil over there in Syria in the first place? You know, we had the Obama administration forced out Assad. Now, certainly he was a ruthless dictator, but he was actually pretty good for the Christians over there. The Christians weren't under Sharia law, but when Assad went out of there, now we have the Muslim Brotherhood came in and started putting Sharia law. Now they're just killing, enslaving, and persecuting. If you saw any about the number of refugees that are leaving for Italy and for Europe, it's just unfathomable. The numbers are just overwhelming Europe, and it's all because the Obama administration, they could see the end, and now we're bringing in these supposedly all of these checked out refugees. Most of them are Muslim. And how many of them will be converted online to be terrorists, we don't know. But we need to put a stop to this whole program, Zeb. It's just really sinister.
Well, it's not only sinister, it's not fair to the rest of our culture and society. And you know what? Honestly, there's another side to this, Adrian. It's really not fair to those people that are coming in here. 99% of them probably don't have a word of English. They need translators. They need all kinds of what do we do, where do we go, what's going on. It's a completely different culture. But this is where I really become afraid, is that...
Well, not only that, but their whole religion is a theology. It's not a religion. And I've heard from representatives in this area, and they say, well, we have to be tolerant of other people's religion. Islam is not just a religion. It's a theocracy. It's politics mixed with religion. And that's the real scary thing. Plus, if you read their scriptures, they say 106 different scriptures say if we don't convert, they kill us.
Whoa. Stop right there. Because you just said something that needs to be elaborated on. Stop. The ISIS dogma, if you will, is that if you don't convert, they will kill you. If you don't convert, they'll give you the option of paying a huge and enormous tax, which would involve basically taking everything you have. So you have choices of either literally starving to death or they will put you to death. And this is ISIS, the Islamic terrorist group, adhering to the principles of their so-called religion and their mantra. This is very concerning to me.
Well, it is, and of course, Valerie Jarrett, she was the chief White House counsel there. She was born in Iran. She's the brains behind Obama, and she said she wants this nation to be a Muslim nation. And certainly Obama many times has said openly that he is a Muslim, and by his actions, both his foreign and domestic policies, his persecution of Christians right here at home, I mean, actions speak louder than words.
Well, and the other...
what he wants to, but he's doing everything he can to put Muslims in power around the world. That's the bottom line.
It's not just Representative McCall. It's also Michael Steinbach, Assistant Director for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. Here's his direct quote. These are his words, talking about the refugees coming into this country. We don't have it under control. They don't know who's coming in.
Yeah, I heard this, from many sources, but it's right there in the headlines in the paper today.
Yeah. All right, Adrian, thank you for your call. God bless you, man. Thanks.
Oh, you bet. Well, have a good one.
Thank you.
Take care. You bet.
I just don't understand, and basically you and I and everybody should demand answers from the college. Did the federal government make overtures of big-time six-figure checks? Maybe even seven-figure checks to have them be acceptance of these refugees? My. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Concern I have is with the College of Southern Idaho, that they find these programs to kind of feed the cow, so to speak, because they've got to keep the college going. And they're not turning into a college of higher education. They're turning into a college of keeping jobs for people.
Mm-hmm.
With that, they're going from one program to another until they saturate the community with these programs, and they move on to another program. It's turned from a college of education to a college of jobs for local people to keep their financial situation where they want them.
That's a valid point, because we kept hearing and reading in previous stories about, they help them find the employment. They help their children with their education. They're helping them, of course, with their living conditions, etc. And it's almost like we're opening up a welfare center at the college instead of an education center.
I think the College of Southern Idaho has lost their perspective as the direction it should go as a college of education, and gone to a college of gifts and finding things that can keep their salaries going so that they don't lose their job.
Well, let me ask you one quick question before you leave. Why? Why would they get into a situation and or a program like this without knowing all the ins and outs and the parameters of the problem? Because as you know, sir, for over 2 months we've been saying on this program, we have a lot of concerns about these refugees, like they do in Minnesota, like they have had in New Jersey, like they have had in Texas, problems. Why do we want to exacerbate the problem by welcoming them in here without really knowing all there is to know.
Follow the money.
There you go.
Follow the money. That these people who are doing these programs have a secondary agenda besides bringing in these wonderful people into our community. It's a job for them, and they've got to do something to keep their financial situation the way it is.
I appreciate your call. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Thank you. I'm very concerned about this, and no, I'm not going to weaken. No, I'm not going to back down. And I'll bet you, lunch at Lunch Munch, that when asked to come on this program and debate these issues, they'll probably treat me like an orphan child and kind of just hang up the phone like some have already done. Mini-Cash Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, across from the airport. Zach and the rest of the crew with all your lumber, all your remodeling needs, all the upgrade of your windows with the Western windows. Oh my, those are good and very energy efficient. And don't forget, too, they've got all the tartar gates and panels, everything for your livestock right there to hold those cows, those horses in. I'll tell you what, Zach can help you at Mini-Cash Sales, 1321 East Main in Burley, and they bring you Dr. History every Tuesday. Thank you very much. Also, I want to say the weekend is here. It's here for the Idaho Regatta. Oh my, a little bit later on this morning, we're going to be talking to Christy Dilworth, and the Maverick, of course, presenting the 40th Annual Idaho Regatta at the Burley Golf Course Marina. Man, the water's going to be frothy, and the boats are going to be going fast, and the sun's going to be shining, and it's just going to be a fun time. And tonight, of course, they're going to have that show and shine and fish fry over at the City of Rupert, and then, of course, tomorrow, the boat parade, and then the racing, the time trials. Oh, a full weekend right there at the Burley Golf Course Marina. 40th Annual Regatta. Don't you miss it. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
About a week and a half ago, I was at a meeting, and we were talking about the refugees. And once a Muslim family moves into a house, they consider it their own, and it's kind of like we can barricade it. Nobody can come in unless we let them. And eventually they have 2 or 3 families living in their homes, and they overwhelm the neighborhood and things like that. This is just the way they do when they come into a neighborhood, and I just don't think that pristine, beautiful Twin Falls is ready for this kind of activity. And once you cross the line into their yard, apparently, it's pretty well the people living there can do whatever they want to with you. And I don't know, as our law enforcement people are aware of some of these things that they believe and they do, and we just do not need that moving into our beautiful valley.
Yeah, and there's another thing, too. There was a mockery made. Caller number 2, don't go away. I'll be there in just a moment. Stand by. But there was a mockery being made of people like myself and others that were questioning about the different things that might be imposed upon us in this country with the refugees coming in, and that one of them was the possible imposition of Sharia law for them over and above our constitutional law. And I was scoffed at. I was laughed at for bringing that up, but I want to reiterate that a poll was recently taken, and 51% of the Muslims that have come into this country want the imposition of Sharia law here in the United States. So who's laughing at who right now, Chris?
Yeah, no, they are so sure that their religion is the only one that how dare us cross the line and tell them these are our laws and you obey our laws.
I've got to go to the weather, but I wished I had more time to talk to you. Thank you. God bless you, Chris. Thank you much. Caller number 2, your indulgence, just for 60 seconds. I've got to do the weather, brought to everybody by Mad River Laser. Of course, they're located at 502 East Street in Rupert, 436-2293. They can do everything for your business, promotional items for all the parades coming up, and, of course, engraving of the buck knives, great gifts for Dad or anybody else, and everything, your caps, your shirts, jackets, everything for your business, absolutely excellent. From Mad River Laser in Rupert. Right now, here is the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. It's going to be another hot day as this high-pressure system is going to stick around for, at least until next week. Looks like sunny skies for today. Winds out of the south right around 12 miles an hour. Expect a high of 92 for today. Tonight, low of 57. Tomorrow, sunny and 95. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, expect triple digits. Anywhere from 100 all the way up to 105. So make sure you stay cool. Keep yourself hydrated. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much. Brought to you by Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Wonderful folks. Good morning. You're on the air.
He hung up.
Oh, well, shame be heaped upon him. Call back, please. I'd like to hear from you. I know I had you wait for a minute, but please call back at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't want somebody or anybody, especially from the College of Southern Idaho or anybody connected to the refugee center, to try to preach to me about information when I have talked to people across this country at various news bureaus and everything, and the facts are the facts, and it was even inclusive in that story from Julie Wooten this morning in the Times News where it said there isn't an FBI office in Syria and on-the-ground intelligence is minimal. Those are key words right there. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
This thing is horrible. I can't understand how our country is putting these people there in the danger, and that's what it is. We're in danger, right here.
Yes.
In southern Idaho with these people. And who's going to feed them? The taxpayers.
You know, and that's a key right there, Fred, because whether they claim, well, it's grant money or whatever, or federal money, hey, it came out of Fred Preston and Zeb Bell's pocket initially to become grant money and or taxpayer money.
Absolutely. But that isn't the big part. The big part is infiltration of some of these people that aren't good for the country.
I couldn't agree more. And yeah, we're going to be considered hate mongers and we're going to be considered bigots. But you know something, Fred? In today's age, with everybody that wants to come into this country and do harm to us and change our system, I think we need to be much more selective.
Well, I'll tell you, they come from Muslim country. They're Muslims. And what does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that the scrutiny should be much more enhanced than what it is. God bless you, Fred. I got to run, and thank you for your call. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. There's a dear friend right there. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Totally agree with you on the refugee scenario you're discussing right now, but I wanted to just throw in my 2 cents worth on the couple you had on there yesterday. That was as good a program as I've ever heard.
Well, that's very, very kind of you. Thank you. That was nice, and I'm going to relay that to Ben and Lacey when I talk to them in the next few days. And I just was honored to have met them a couple of weeks ago up in Bellevue at a function, and I invited them on the program, and believe me, they're going to be back again in the future. It was really nice. Thank you for your kind words.
Well, I sure appreciated it. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Kindly. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Deanne just handed me a note And it's too bad I wasn't able to read this while I was talking to Fred, but from 4:30 to 8 o'clock at the Declo Stake Center this Friday, June 26th, there's going to be a celebration of a wonderful lady's birthday, her 80th birthday party, Joyce Preston. God bless her and happy, happy birthday. Everybody's invited to stop over and wish her a happy birthday on this Friday. Hey, calls are welcome. Give me a call. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. They want to help you get back to feeling like you. That's right. Nick Greenwell, physical therapist, and all the physical therapists that work there. They know all the exercises. They know all the sports medicine. They've got that hydrotherapy pool with the treadmill in the bottom. Oh, my. And believe me, myself, right here, me, I need to get back over there because I've been very lax in trying to get over there and make sure I do some of the exercises on my knee and my hip. And they are the best. Please call for an appointment today at 678-1191. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Really good folks. All right, your calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, the CSI Refugee Center Director, and I hope I say his name right. I don't mean at all to slander the pronunciation, but I think it's pronounced Zizi Rasma. And he said that people shouldn't be fearful. Why not? Why not? When we have seen refugees like the Sarnoff brothers come in here to this country and be treated extremely well, and then bomb and kill people during the Boston Marathon. Why not when we see people go to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then become radicalized and want to go join ISIS and kill Americans? Why not, Mr. Rasmoa? Why shouldn't we be fearful? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, my friend. Hey. Thing is I got a problem with is that there's a lot of people out here that are working themselves to death trying to make a living, and we got enough deadbeats in this country, and yet they want to bring more people in, and we are paying for it.
There has to be, and Killman, I'm glad you called, but there has to be some kind of a stopgap. There has to be some kind of a brake system that says, wait a minute, we have porous borders to the south, and literally thousands and thousands are coming in to the numbers that have accumulated into the millions illegally. And yet we just are letting everybody in. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the housing. We don't have the jobs. We don't have the welfare system. When is enough enough?
Well, the other thing is, where's our state people? I mean, even our local state people, how come they're not vocal about this? How come they're not doing something about it?
Now, that is a very good point. And I'll tell you something that I am going to do. And beware, senators and congressmen. I am going to start asking them, and I am going to start putting their feet to the fire. And I won't accept the answer, well, gee, I haven't done my study on it. If they're going to represent the people and have constituents under them as a senator or a congressman, they darn sure better do the study.
Oh, I agree. I mean, we've got these local people that are here to represent us. They're part of us. How come they're not stepping in and saying, no, we're not going to have this happen?
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
We don't have the money. We don't have the infrastructure. We're stretching ourselves as much as we can. And yet they keep taking and taking. They need to step in and stop the federal government from just throwing our stuff away.
Well, I don't like the idea that there are selected sites by the federal government for a basic recolonization of these refugees, and I don't like the fact that you, your wife, me, or anybody else really had, as taxpayers in the respective area, the right to decline that happening.
Agreed. Agreed. Like I said, there's a lot of guys. I mean, you look at it: construction workers, farmers, ranchers. There's a lot of people out there that put a lot of hours in every stinking day, and they know that after a certain amount, the government's going to get more than they are, but they're the ones doing the work, and they're giving away our money.
Right. Kilt man, always appreciate your call. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend, all right?
You too, my friend.
Thank you very much. Good friend right there. Thank you for his remarks. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations. And are you ready for summer travel? I hope so, because you better make sure that your tires are all right. Oh, my goodness, you forgot. You got a couple of ones that are a little bit testy as whether or not you got the right kind of tread design left there. You better stop in and check it out. On your car, they have got the Ultra Z900 tire that is their best tire on sale. Long tread life, smooth, quiet ride, the Ultra Z900. Absolutely excellent. The best in brake service, and I'm not kidding. They've been providing brake service to their customers for well over 30 years. And, of course, the best of front-end alignment, shocks and struts, brakes, service, batteries, you name it. It's all there at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I can guarantee you one thing. I am not going to let this story go because it seems like the college, it seems like the Times News, and others need a lot of catching up on information that they should have checked on initially, and I'm going to try to help to provide them with the information they should have known months ago. We're going to try to take a break for about 6 minutes and be back. Don't go away. Zeb at the Ranch. Wheels, take it away. Oh, welcome back. Hour number 2, Zeb at the Ranch. And I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers like Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. We're going to have our chamber report momentarily. Stand by. Don't forget our dear, dear friends at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, his family, his staff, and they're always serving you and your family with the most flexible hours, and they are there when you need their assistance. Absolutely with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Joel Heward and the staff, when there's the passing of a loved one, they will help. They can help. All you have to do is give them a call at 436-5636. 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, there when you need them and serving you and your family. I got to get one more good word in here real quick, and then Kay, I know she's chomping on the bit. Don't forget the Idaho Cattle Association Industry Convention and Trade Show. Oh my, it's going to be ripping good fun. I've got to get away and get up there for a day or so. Have to. July 14th through the 18th, right there at the Riverside Hotel in Boise. It is going to be absolutely outstanding as they celebrate 100 years. The Idaho Cattle Association, the real cowboys, the annual Cattle Industry Convention and Trade Show, and there's so much more going on for that 5 days. You don't want to miss a minute of it. July 14th through the 18th at the Riverside Hotel in Boise. Good morning, the lovely Kay Cameron. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. It's a beautiful day. The river looks fantastic today. It's just a great day to be here.
Let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer this as honestly as possible, okay? No hedging on this, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Now, you're about, 50 feet away from the river?
No. Let me see.
Oh, you got to measure it.
Yeah, about that.
Haven't you had...
It's not quite that accessible out the back door. It's right there, but it's not very accessible.
Okay, but honestly, and here's the question, haven't you had the urge, like when we were little kids, to run out the back back door and just jump in the river on a hot day?
Yeah, I do have that urge, but I have to say I've never done it.
Oh, okay.
It would feel fabulous. These days have been hot, and the river is gorgeous, and yeah, I would love to.
All right, well, what's cooking, literally, over at the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, literally, we don't have anything cooking, but tonight over on the Rupert Square, they're going to be frying up some fish for the fish fry and show and shine for the Idaho Regatta. So it's a great time to come on over.
Okay.
Check things out. I'll be set up there handing out visitor information and sharing about all of the great things in our community. Stop by and see me if you're going to be over there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You know, it's going to be a little noisy by your office for the next couple of days.
I love it. I love the noise. We actually had our regatta golf scramble yesterday, or our chamber golf scramble yesterday. We always have had it on Thursday in the past, and it just got to be so crowded with all of the things going on at the regatta, so we moved it up a day, and it was not quite the same without all of the noise from the boaters in the background.
Oh, my. And, you know, here it is, regatta weekend, and can you believe that the 4th of July is right around the corner?
I know. I was standing in the clubhouse yesterday thinking, oh my goodness, it's the end of June already. Where is summer going? I just am loving these summer days and the beautiful summer evenings that we've had. We've just had such beautiful evenings in our community. It's just been wonderful. But yes, we have all kinds of things. Next week is the 4th of July celebration. And since I won't be on the air for another whole week, just remember next Tuesday morning is the Christmas lighting breakfast on the Rupert Square where they have their big pancake breakfast. It's great.
Right.
All of their festivities start up on the Rupert Square next Tuesday, so they'll have entertainment, live entertainment every evening on the Rupert Square starting around 6 o'clock. It's free to the public. There's no charge. They're going to have the carnival going on. They've got Forever Plaid playing at the Wilson Theater. The fireworks will be next Tuesday because they always do their fireworks at the start of their celebration instead of the end of their celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And so all kinds of activities, great food set up all around the square, and all kinds of fun things all next week on the Rupert Square.
Let me ask you a question here again. I just thought of something else. When you were a little girl and you watched the fireworks, were you an ooh or an ah?
I've never really thought about that. I was probably like, no more, let's set off some more. You can come in. Well, when I was a little girl growing up, they didn't have the big fireworks displays. They did that a little bit when I got a little bit older. So we had our own little fireworks displays in our yard, and let's set off some more.
My mother was an ooh. She'd sit there every time one would go up and she'd go, ooh. And my grandfather was a ah.
We were too busy chasing each other around with the sparklers and, stuff like that.
Yeah, and getting ice cream up your elbows and everything. Oh, that was fun times.
Yep.
Yeah. What else is going on real quick?
If you're looking for something to do this weekend that is not the Idaho Regatta, there is a community patriotic program tomorrow night at the King Fine Arts Center, and Saturday they are having lawnmower races over at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds sponsored by the Optimus Club. So that will be a lot of fun if you want to go check that out.
Are you going to race a lawnmower?
No.
You know, I think that would be a good challenge. I'll challenge you next year in a lawnmower race. How's that?
That sounds great.
Okay.
We could probably do that for some charity event or something.
Yes, we will. Charity will be your and my injuries that we go to the hospital for.
Yeah.
Okay. What's happening as far as numbers to call, and how do they get a hold of the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minicasualchamber.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
There you go. Thank you so much, Kay Cameron. Have a wonderful weekend, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, and like Kay said just a moment ago, don't forget the Rupert 4th of July celebration, 89th annual. Salute Our Troops, their main theme, starting on June 30th with that Christmas in July breakfast and going all the way through the 4th of July. Oh, my, are they going to have fun over there. All the food booths and the carnival and the fireworks and the lawnmower races and the parade. Oh, you don't want to miss a minute of it. It's great. It's fun for the whole family. 89th annual Rupert 4th of July celebration. Don't miss it. Well, right now with me on the telephone, I hope, is the lady that I talked to about, oh my goodness, almost 2 months ago now, about information on the 40th Idaho Regatta that's coming to town. As a matter of fact, it's hitting town tonight, starting over in Rupert and going through the weekend at the Burley Golf Course Marina. Hello, Christy Dilworth. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I am doing wonderful. How are you?
Oh, if I was any better, the wrong fat man be wearing my clothes. What's happening with the regatta? You're at the 11th hour. The boats are coming in. The drivers are coming in. The mechanics are ready to test the boats. I mean, wow, it's exciting.
Oh, it is. I mean, I have looked forward to this weekend every weekend since I was just a little girl, and when I first remembered. I grew up in the Idaho Regatta, watching my dad help his friends race, and then, watching my dad race and myself helping him. So, I really, seriously, it is by far, one of the most favorite things that I get to do. And now that I'm a director over the race, I see a little bit different side of it, but I still absolutely love it. I'm on my way there right now.
Well, I'll tell you something, Christy. People, if they haven't been there, they'd better get a weekend pass and just sit back and enjoy. The weather forecast is calling for ample amounts of sunshine, and the boat racing is going to be phenomenal. And that gentleman we had last week on the program from Australia, wow! I mean, you've got some top-notch boats and drivers coming in.
We do. Our racers just absolutely love coming to the race. A lot of times it's the only race that they make it to because they love Burley so much. They love the hospitality of the locals that live here, and I know that there's a lot of fans and locals that love going to the race. But it is it's going to be a great weekend, great weather. Today, it will be the last day that you can get advance tickets. You can find those at the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce, D11 Banks locations, and Smith's Food and Drug in Burley.
Okay. Now, kind of give us a rundown, starting with tonight, and walk us through quickly, if you would, the weekend as far as the different times for different events.
Absolutely. So we're kicking off our weekend of events tonight on the square in Rupert. It's going to be the Idaho Regatta Fish Fry, Show and Shine. As far as the races are going to be getting pre-registered for the weekend, and we've just got lots of fun stuff going on. The great thing about tonight is it's free. You can come, hang out, check out the boats, meet the race teams, get a great dinner of fish. The proceeds are going to be helping the historic Wilson Theater. Okay.
And then tomorrow, Friday, vroom, vroom, they're going to start them up, right?
Tomorrow. We love the boat parade that goes through Burley. We're meeting at 9:30 at Smith's Food and Drug, and we kick it off from there. And then we'll go, the parade route's going to go Smith, on Highland to Overland to 16th Street to Overland, down through downtown Burley to Main Street, and then Main Street back out, and they'll probably go and kind of end at Smith, or they'll head back down to the race site.
Okay. And
it's going to be a fun event. A lot of kids love going to the parade. The boaters love seeing everyone coming out and supporting them. The parade does start at 10, so be sure to get out there and get a spot and wave hello as all our boaters, and some of our sponsors will actually be participating in the parade as well.
Wow. And then also tomorrow on Friday, you said the time trials start, and then Saturday is chock full of racing, and Sunday, and it's going to be great weather. Holy buckets, you couldn't ask for a better weekend.
I think that the weather is just going to really just be our friend this weekend. It might get a little warm, but one thing to keep in mind, like on Friday, if you've never been to the race, Zeb, Friday's the day to go. It's only $7 per adult. Children 12 and younger get in free. I mean, what can you go do for almost a full day? Just hang out and enjoy the food. You can bring picnic if you'd like. It's just going to be a fantastic day, and if that's the day you want to go and experience the race, that'll be the most inexpensive day to go.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody the other night that has gone to the regatta the last couple of years, and they said, don't forget your camera because you're going to see some amazing things on the water.
Oh, yeah, you definitely want to bring your cameras. You'll definitely want to bring some sort of shade, sunscreen, lots of water, other drinks if you prefer. And then make sure if you want to be able to access our pit area where the boats go, you want to bring closed-toed shoes. It's very important. You will not be allowed in the pit area if you want to go and meet the boats and see them up close, take their photos, have them take photos of you at the boats. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, you've got me in a fever pitch. I can't wait for it. The Idaho Regatta, 40th annual, brought to everybody by Maverick and many, many other sponsors at the Burley Golf Course Marina this weekend. Christy, doggone, it's going to be fun.
I'm excited. It's going to be just fantastic, and we'll just see you out there.
You know what? I want to say thank you to you and the others that you helped line up to promote the Idaho Regatta on my program. It's been a lot of fun, and I want to personally give you a thanks, Christy. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Deb. I've really enjoyed just getting to chat with you, even if it's just been a couple of times. But it's always nice to be on your radio show.
All right.
We really certainly appreciate your support.
God bless, and have a wonderful regatta, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. 40th annual Idaho Regatta this weekend at the Burley Golf Course Marina. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch those big, big boats. Wow. Hey, I got to take a little moment here, and Wheels is always standing by. He goes to bed at night with that finger poised in the air to hit the button that says Silver State Stampede. Let's listen.
Follow the crowd to family entertainment at its best. The 2015 Silver State Stampede thundered into Elko July 9th, 10th, and 11th at the Elko Fairgrounds. Kicking off this weekend of rodeo action on Thursday, July 9th is the annual Stampede Kickoff Party featuring a $10 tri-tip dinner, followed by the Old West Calcutta, Old West bronc riding, the Western Trade Show, and ending the night with live music and dancing to the sounds of the Jeff Palmer Band. The fun continues on Friday and Saturday with a full roster of PRCA rodeo action, followed by the always popular Ring of Fear, and more live music and dancing. You can get your tickets today at Roy's, the J.M. Capriola Company, the Boot Barn, IFA, or the Elko Chamber of Commerce. For more information, check online at www.silverstatestampede.com or call 777-934-6502. Follow the crowd to the 2015 Silver State Stampede, July 9th, 10th, and 11th. Family entertainment at its very best.
Oh, my. I can't wait to throw the suitcase in the pick-em-up truck and head for Elko. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's ride Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. I'll tell you what, they've got watercraft over there. Yeah, lots and lots of brand new watercraft for fun in the water, fun on the river, fun on the lake. Oh, my. You better check it out today at Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. And you want to get up in the mountains, you want to see the green, you want to see the moose, the elk, the deer, everything. Well, get on a 4x4 from Let's Ride. Wow. I mean, they've got all shapes, sizes, colors, everything for you over there in their showroom. Let's Ride Ride, where the fun is sold. You better get on over and see them today at Let's Ride. Super, super nice people. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to be heading over in that direction, don't forget, you haven't checked your insurance, have you, lately? Don't let that go. Don't let that go. Make sure that you're covered. Your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. Don't you let that go. You make sure you call the pros, Dean and Todd, today at 436-4424. And they are always very accessible and very devoted to serving you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Again, 436-4424. Holy Moses! Where did all these dogs come from anyway? They're all over the place. You got a dog over here, my goodness. Look at that, Doberman Pinscher. He's got the mailman cornered. Holy smokes, we better call Officer Ken Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. Officer, are you there?
Vroom, vroom, I am, Zeb.
Vroom, vroom, you are?
Yeah. Hey, you've been doing the vroom, vrooms all morning this morning.
I've got the vroom, vrooms. I've got the vroom. You got to say it with some authority. Don't just go vroom, vroom. Now, Mort, you're on my team. That vroom, that's how you do it.
How are we doing today?
You're going to make wheels fall out of the chair there in a minute. Come on. What's cooking with Minidoka Animal Control? Vroom!
Well, as everybody's been hearing, next week is the 4th of July week, and I just want to reiterate to everybody out there that they need to make sure that they're keeping a close eye on their pets. And that with all the fireworks that are going to be starting to go off and stuff like that, fireworks scare them. And I see an influx every year during the 4th of July time frame over any other part of the year of loose or runaway dogs and stuff and that because of the fireworks. So everybody needs to take that extra precaution during the 4th of July week and make sure that their dogs are secured so that they're not getting out and running off on you and that due to the fireworks.
Well, one other thing, though, Ken, and I know you were probably going to highlight it, but I want to mention it. We are going to be seeing part of a warm couple of days like we get every year where all of a sudden we're going to get hit with some maybe high 90s, low 102, 103 temperatures. Make sure you got water for your dogs and pets.
Oh, most definitely. You want to make sure you've got plenty of water for them, plenty of food. Make sure that they've got shelter and stuff in that to be able to get in out of the sun on that so that it'll help cool them down. A lot of people don't realize and stuff in that dogs, even though we're designed as an outside pet, they will overheat faster than a human will.
Yeah.
And so when we get these high temperatures like this, they will definitely overheat and have heat stroke and everything. So you want to make sure you've got plenty of water for them at all times. Make sure they've got food on that because you still need that food for their nourishment because that's what helps trap that water into their body so that they can keep it in there.
Yeah.
And then make sure that they've got someplace cool and stuff in that shady that they can get in out of that sun and stay cool.
All right. Now, do you have a featured dog for the week?
Actually, I don't. We just yesterday everything that we had that was available on that wound up leaving on that to go to their new homes. I do want to touch on that next week I start the raffle and silent auction on that to raise the money for our kennels.
Okay.
I've had several businesses around the Minicaja area that have stepped up. For instance, both Les Schwab in Paul and Les Schwab in Rupert have donated. Quality Tire in Rupert, Commercial Tire in Burley. Both Ace Hardware in Burley and Rupert, they actually stepped up and donated an Xbox One
for
our raffle, which is one of the top gaming systems and stuff in that you can get right now because they're wanting to see us be able to raise all the money we need to be able to get these kennels. And I'm still collecting donations, so if anybody's got something that they're wanting to donate for either the raffle or the silent auction, we definitely can use everything we can get because the more we get on that, the more tickets we can sell and the more we can raise.
Oh my goodness! And how are things shaping up over there as far as the donations and the kennels and that type of thing?
Actually, everything's going really well. I mean, we're raising the money and stuff in this next week with Modern Woodman, who's going to match up to $2,500 of what we raise, so that we can be able to get to kennels, and that's the only thing that's holding us up from being able to get into this new facility.
Okay. Now, anything else to report as far as dogs are concerned? I mean, my goodness sakes, I just hope everybody takes care of their dogs this summer and not let them out on the roadways, unwanted dogs and everything. That just breaks my heart.
It breaks mine, too. I mean, I would rather them bring them in and dump them out behind my facility in one of the drop-off kennels that we have back there than to just dump them on the side of the road.
Absolutely.
I mean, at least the dog has a fighting chance of stuff in it if you bring it to me. I mean, we've since October 1st of last year, because our calendar year for us goes from October 1st to the end of September. And since October 1st, we have yet to euthanize a single dog due to any kind of injury, illness, or it being vicious. I mean, we've been able to find homes for everything.
Okay, now, we're going to have a little contest here and see who does the best. Vroom, vroom! And we're going to start with Wheels. Wheels, turn your microphone on. Let's see how good a good vroom, vroom you can throw at us.
All right. Vroom, vroom.
That was fuzzy and weak. Come on. All right, Mort, go ahead.
Vroom, vroom.
Ooh, that was a Harley. I got to hit this one now. Vroom, vroom. There you go. All three of us are going to be in the Vroom Vroom Museum. Thank you very much. God bless you, Ken Mort, Animal Control over in Minidoka County. Great job. Happy 4th of July and everything else.
The same to you, Zeb.
All right, buddy. Thanks. I give Wheels a hard time. He's such a nice guy. Wheels, you're not offended that your room wasn't very good, are you?
Actually, no, because I know you guys are older, so you have a stronger throat than I do, so I already know you.
Oh, you're saying that we're older. Is that correct?
Well,
be careful, Wheels.
Hold on, I gotta take this.
Okay, go ahead. I love it. Hey, don't forget the Rupert Merchants supporting the Rupert 4th of July celebration, including Magic Valley Carpet at 613 D Street in Rupert. Number to call 436-1722. Right off the square with all your flooring needs, carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, tile. 35 years of experience with all their installation. They are excellent. Haskin Insurance Service at 629 Fremont Street in Rupert. Number to remember and call 436-4141 with the likes of great people serving you with all your insurance. Mike and Dustin, Don and Terry for all your home, auto, farm, life, or health. Over 50 years combined experience at Haskin Insurance. And Doc's Pizza. Oh boy, yum. You better believe it. 514 6th Street in Rupert. Terrific pizza shop. I love those cinnamon sticks. They are delicious. And of course, all you can eat Mondays and Thursdays for only $8. They're going to be closed on the 4th of July, but they wish everybody a happy 4th of July at Doc's Pizza. There you go. Oh my, it is time now for a lovely blonde lady to come on in and say howdy, just like Minnie Pearl. Here is Rita Ramsey. Good morning, Rita.
Good morning. My howdy isn't as good as Minnie Pearl's, but I do want to say one thing. I really need about an hour-and-a-half segment to talk on this morning. I am so fired up about our country, I could just scream.
Well, easy, ladies. Calm down. Somebody take her a cold drink or something, for heaven's sakes. You're probably as mad as I am. What is your favorite subject that you want to really let me have it on this morning? Go ahead.
Well, probably the first thing that has just really got me really upset is the Supreme Court stuff.
Oh, boy.
There were there's a number of decisions that will come down. There's 2 of them that have already come down. We don't know the third one that I wanted to talk about, but the first one was that Horn versus the Department of Agriculture. Mm-hmm. And it was actually they were kind of milly-minded about what they decided to do, but they decided that they would go ahead and to make sure that the government gave compensation, according to what the government decides the compensation should be, of course,
Right.
to those folks who are required to give a big portion of their harvest every year to the federal government to keep prices down.
Oh, boy. Now you're making me even madder because I didn't have time to get into that this morning.
Well, and I don't know whether, how much people are aware of it, but what that is there's some raisin farmers that have been mandated to give a portion of their harvest every year since 1937 to the federal government to keep the prices down. And finally, in 2003, they said we're not going to do it anymore because in 2003, they were required to give 47% of their crop to the government and not get compensated.
Uh-huh.
And 2004 was 30%, and finally, just a couple of years, actually, it was in 2007, I believe. They said we're not going to do this anymore. We're keeping our stuff, and we're going to take it to court. And they finally ended up in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, well, they really should be compensated for it, but they were contending that it was real property. Now, this is my question, and this is why I'm talking about raisins. If they'll do that about raisins, are they going to do that about cattle?
Oh, absolutely.
Or pigs or potatoes or sugar beets?
Absolutely. You can bank on it. Who do you see in the background looming from the past with a caricature of his face when you hear about giving things to the government? You see the Stalins and the Marxists and everything else, don't you?
Really, you do. And that's why that leads me to the second Supreme Court decision, which just came out this morning, on Obamacare. And Obama wins the big Supreme Court victory.
Yep.
And the title of the article says, Obamacare wins second big Supreme Court victory and named Obama King of America.
Oh, yes. Let's all bow down at the throne. Don't anybody soil that robe.
That's right, and the part that's really bad about this is that Scalia, who was really, really upset about it, he said, we have changed the law. And he said, by their own admission, we are writing laws.
Yep.
And he's talking about SCOTUS, the Supreme Court.
Yep. I'm really between, and I'll just kind of lump these things together for you, Rita, between what's happening with the absolute idiotic and not thought out or looked at refugee program, all the way to the other things that are going on in our country for a total disrespect of our moral values and our family values in this country, and the absolute stupidity of the feminist movement, and if somebody's offended by that, bring it on. There's so many things to talk about. Like you said, we can't do it in one day.
Well, we really can't, and on that refugee thing, I've been getting quite a bit of information, and I would be glad to talk to anybody off air about that, but I'm not going to voice my opinion on that right now. However, I don't think that our community should be involved in it as deeply as we are without a community approval.
Absolutely. When you're talking about the Supreme Court, though, don't you wonder sometimes, Rita, and I know you do, I do, that they're behind the scenes is more than just maybe a little twinge of somebody's arm being twisted, wouldn't you think?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, Judge Napolitano actually said that. He said, and this was regarding the decision that came down this morning, he said, my immediate reaction is the Chief Justice has yet again resorted to nearly unheard of construction in order to save the statue, and he was talking about Roberts. He said, last time around when the government said it wasn't a tax and the challenger said it wasn't a tax, the Chief Justice ruled it was a tax, and that saved it. This time around, he took the plain meaning of ordinary words established by the states and somehow held that they were ambiguous and that he could and that the majority could correct the ambiguity according to what they thought the drafters meant. The court is now in the business of saving statute in order to save its reputation. And summarizing the dissent of Justice Scalia, he said, I believe Roberts will continue to undermine his credibility as a fair-minded jurist because he has reached to bizarre and odd contortions in order to save this statute twice. You and I know, and I bet everybody else does, that he is being blackmailed or pressured into doing it for one reason or the other. And it really bothers me to think that he would not step down and say, I will not take this, I will not ruin the justice system. And he's doing it all for his own. He needs to say, I've been blackmailed, and it doesn't really matter what they're blackmailing me about, but I'm stepping down. And maybe they just want him to step down so they can appoint another one, so they've got their people already. And that's why the Supreme Court thing is so important, and a lot of people don't understand that we have got to have a somewhat conservative president so that when those appointments become necessary, you get some that aren't, really liberal. The one that's really going to be a big concern of everybody's should be the one which is the gay rights decision. And the main reason with that is it's not that, well, I don't care who marries who or whatever that is. What it all boils down to is going back to the freedom of religion in the First Amendment. And what they can end up doing, and this may not be a far cry because it's already happening in a lot of instances, is that if they were to come to me and say, well, Mrs. Ramsey, we know that you attend a church that is against gay marriage, so therefore we are not going to let you renew your business license.
Yeah. The repercussions, ramifications, and the very subtle and not so subtle innuendos that are going to be spoken and tried to be applied to those of us that are against gay marriage, are against the gay and lesbian lifestyle, and the transgenders is going to become much more pronounced, and we are going to be labeled the hate mongers and the bigots, and there is going to be a bounty on us. You can bet on it.
Well, there really is, and really the Supreme Court should not even be deciding this at all. The Supreme Court should be saying, you know what, this is a states' rights matters, and we're going to send it back to the states, and each state can do whatever they want to do, and leave it alone. But that's not what's happening here. The federal government is getting into everything, and then that leads me on to that other deal with Boehner and the way he's publishing Republicans.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Go ahead, Rita. Your gun is working well. Shoot those silver bullets. Tell us about your thoughts on Boehner. I've got my own, but go ahead.
Well, there's a number of Republicans that have given him a little bit of grief on this, the trade thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And because they're doing that, some of these Republicans who have been against a few things have actually stood up and say, we're not going to do it, and so he's taking their appointments away from them.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of a sad thing to think that they are doing that this way in the Republican Party. And now Jason Chaffetz, who is on the House Oversight Committee as the chairman, he's making decisions to go ahead and take so-and-so off of that because you're not with us and you're not with us. And that Mark Meadows was removed from the House Oversight Committee. And Ken Buck will be ousted from his post as the GOP freshman class president. Oh. And it's really a bad thing. I heard them saying last night that they have a bunch of Democrats that will probably band together with them, and they may try to have an overthrow. That is yet to be seen. I thought it was quite interesting that it says, I think it just got to the point where an awful lot of people were saying, geez, they go out and they openly vote against the leadership and the rest of the Republicans and nothing ever happens to them. Republican Mike Simpson of Idaho said,
yeah,
close Boehner ally, and he told the Washington Examiner, I think it was a lot of us counting on leadership, saying you have to put some discipline back in our conference. And so our own Mike Simpson is actually pushing this and saying Boehner has every right to do that. We're ones who make the laws. The rest of you guys don't matter.
It's not so much a discipline. It's a heavy-handed hammer over someone's head if they don't conform to the party way. And I got to be honest with you, Rita, and I'm frustrated. Maybe you can help me because I've been yelling and screaming about this for the last month. That trade bill is so insidious. That trade bill is so lack of transparency. That trade bill, I think, will come back to bite the United States and further countries under the United Nations and not help us. That trade bill, I think, is going to add to the problem of illegal immigration. And that trade bill, I think, is going to be the ruination of our agricultural programs here in the United States. You please tell me I'm wrong.
Well, you're right, but there needs to be one more thing added to it. That trade bill, if Obama wants it, and all the Republicans are saying it's good, but the Democrats are saying no, why would the Republicans be wanting to do it? It's all about big business. The other thing that's the big problem about it is it's not about trade. Yeah, it's about letting some of these big companies and the Chamber of Commerce, the National Chamber of Commerce, and all of their people who are represented by them want to have all of this power. That's not what it's about. This is about climate control, and it's about control. And the U.S. never fares well when they do this. And for anybody to think that this is just giving Obama a chance to send it to the Congress and let the Congress decide how they want to do something, they are dreaming.
Oh, my. Okay, there's two. She's got more, but I'm going to have you wait just until I'm done with the weather. So you can sit there and fume for just a few more minutes, okay? Stand by, Rita. Thanks so much. Hey, don't forget our weather forecast brought to you by Duck Uglies at 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, my. Delicious meals. Great entertainment. I mean, great entertainment. You're going to love on Friday night. They got a ribeye steak special. Don't miss that. On Saturday night, Omar's back. And is going to be cooking his delicious, mouth-watering ribs. And it's always great. Food, service, entertainment, all there at Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Here now, the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. It's going to be another hot day as this high-pressure system is going to stick around for, at least until next week. Looks like sunny skies for today. Winds out of the south right around 12 miles an hour. Expect a high of 92 for today. Tonight, low of 57. Tomorrow, sunny and 95. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, expect triple digits. Anywhere from 100 all the way up to 105. So make sure you stay cool. Keep yourself hydrated. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you so much. Brought to you by Duck Uglies at 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. All right, she's on a roll now. Look out. Here comes very upset number 3. Go ahead, Rita.
Okay, so how about the Confederate flag?
Oh, I knew it. I wrote it down. Honestly, this is a true story. If I could hold it up to the cameras that are on my website, I wrote down Confederate flag will be next. I knew you were going to head there.
Well, I'm okay with them doing whatever they want with the Confederate flag. I think that's a state's rights, and the states can individually decide, but that is not what caused that shooter guy to do what he did.
That's right.
They're focusing the wrong thing. It's just one thing after the other. Now, I hate to bring this in, but it's really true. Rush Limbaugh, a couple of days ago, said, I have a prediction. Do not doubt me. There's going to be more than the Confederate flag in this deal. And this morning, or it might have been last night, actually, Louis Farrakhan said, it's not just the Confederate flag. We need to get rid of the American flag. That's been oppressive to us for all these years.
Let me, if I can, give you the direct quotation from Louis Farrakhan, who is, in my opinion, one of the pond scums living on this earth. He said, quote, and ladies and gentlemen, I am going to read the quote, and some of you might think it's my language possibly being inserted here. It's not. It's all Farrakhan's. He said, quote, I don't know what the hell the fight is about over the Confederate flag, the 82-year-old so-called minister said. We need to put the American flag down because we've got as much hell under that as the Confederate flag. I was incensed when I heard him say that, Rita.
Well, you know what this kind of leads me to believe? This leads me to believe, and this kind of goes back to Bill O'Reilly's exchange with Kirsten Powers the other night when they got in a yelling match, is a lot of these Democrats think that we just need to be punished over and over and over and over and over again for the hate and the slavery and everything that's happened to the blacks. There have been so many things that we have tried to do and that we have done to make reparations in that regard. And because we're actually starting to make a difference, and for crying out loud, we have a black president of the United States.
And we had a black attorney general. We've had blacks in leadership roles in all aspects of American life. I am fed up with people playing the race card and throwing it at you and me.
Well, they just think we haven't done enough, and we have to keep doing more. And the reason why they think we haven't done enough and things is because it's actually a good deal, and we're trying to keep race and this kind of oppression out of our system anymore. And it's like, well, that's not good enough. They just have to have something to complain about, and we've got to do more and more and more. And I have just had it.
Well, there's one thing and one word that you mentioned in the last little paragraph that I want to elaborate on a little bit. You mentioned the word reparation. And yesterday, as I skimmed through the various networks that were covering all this garbage, and I call it garbage about the Confederate flag, I think it's a total waste of time. There were lawmakers in various aspects of our leadership in the Senate and the Congress that are calling again for the word reparation in the form of money and checks, and that scares me, Rita.
Well, it should. You know, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly known as the Mormons. They ran the Mormons out of Missouri and Illinois and took our lives and our property. And my own great-great-grandfather lost a business, a sawmill business that he had in 4 different places. He was ran out, lost it. Somebody took it over and just did it. And he didn't get any reparations. I haven't been getting any reparations. We didn't even have any help from the federal government. You don't hear a bunch of us asking for reparations. There were numbers of people that were oppressed and run out because of bad things that were happening. But you know what? This is today, and we need to just do what we do.
Hey, but I'm a Lutheran. You're LDS, I'm a Lutheran, and it doesn't make any difference. The reparations for things that were done 150 years ago, 6 generations removed, that is asinine and ignorant and never is going to solve any kind of a problem with race relations in this country today, Rita.
It isn't. It's all about today. You know, I read a book a number of years ago by Dr. Laura, and it was called Bad Childhood, Good Life. In other words, you can just sit there and complain about everything that happened to you as a child, but you're the one who's in charge, and you're an adult, and you can have a good life if you want to. And that's the difference. We can complain about all that happened before, but you know what? If we just address it today and do what needs to be done and have a good life, we can. But they're just dwelling on it, and it's because they're still trying to oppress the black people.
Absolutely. Caller, if you're still there, you're on the air. Quickly, please.
The thing that bugs me the most is I wish that the black people they don't even know their own history. If they would go back in American history and the black history, they would find out that the person that brought black slaves here was a black man, not a white man.
That's true.
And the first millionaire woman in America was a black woman. And she did it all on her own, self-made. But do they even understand that or know that? And the reparation, to me, all that is wealth. They want the handout.
Absolutely.
They want something for nothing.
I agree with you.
Where they are is not where their parents put them. Where they are is where they have put themselves.
Let me just say something. No, don't hang up, ma'am. Stay there. I want to say something to you real quick, and then Rita's going to chime in. But you've got to also add this to the fray in the conversation, that had it not been for the slave traders 250 years ago starting to come to this country with the blacks from Africa, and they did not come to this continent, think about how poorly off they would still be today in general had they not come to America with all the opportunities that were afforded them.
I totally agree. I mean, they wouldn't have the education. Look at what every American has.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, they have the right to ask, to voice their opinions. But the thing that bugs me is their opinion is taking away my right.
Absolutely. And I thank you for your comment. As well served. Thank you very much. Rita, your response to what we said.
Oh, I totally agree, and I would like to add to what she said. If they would learn their history, they would find out that the Republicans, right from the Civil War, all the way clear through Johnson and Eisenhower and everybody else, were the ones who were fighting to have the slavery abolished. And yet they give the Democrats all the credit, and the Democrats are the wonderful ones. Well, it was the Democrats who have tried to keep them oppressed for the 200 years, and the Republicans were the ones who were trying to get rid of slavery and give them their rights.
I'm afraid to ask you what's going on with the Tea Party. I mean, you're riled up and lathered up, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be a long day at the office, Rita.
Well, it is. And what's going on at the Tea Party is not enough. There aren't enough people coming and finding out what's going on and what needs to be happening. It just really bothers me that there are so many people out there that think that everything's okay and that they don't have anything that they need to do. We've got local stuff here in Twin Falls that we need to be addressing.
Yes.
With the Syrians and
Yes.
the immigrants and the refugees, rather. We've got all kinds of stuff that if we would just start learning the facts and making some phone calls and wrangling some of our politicians, we could make a difference. And for people to just think, well, I know about it, and oh gosh, too bad, and I hate that, and turn and walk away and everything's cool, really is bothersome to me.
And I want to reiterate what you just said. I think any and all politicians, I don't care if they're a senator, a congressman, I don't care what their position is, don't feign ignorance on this issue if you are an elected official, because it's your duty to your constituents to have the knowledge and help pursue the answers for people that have questions. Quickly, would you agree or disagree?
No, I do. And, a few days before Obama was elected, and I think he knew he was going to get elected, he said, in just 5 days, we will fundamentally change America. Well, guess what? We haven't seen anything yet. It's coming down the pike, and it's going to be fast and big and strong and oppressive.
I agree. Wow. Rita, now take my advice. It's a hot day. Have someone bring you a glass of ice water, kind of prop your feet up on the desk, take it easy until lunchtime, and then take it really easy during lunchtime. God bless you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thanks, Deb.
All
Bye.
right, bye-bye. I love that lady. All right, Rita Ramsey, thank you very much. Oh, my. Look at the clock on the wall, Zeb. It's time on this Thursday to tell everybody if they're hungry and starving to death, the places to go for lunch today. Let's start with the Taco Bandito at 2301 Overland and Burley. Oh, they've got breakfast burritos. Have you tried one of those at Taco Bandito? Scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomato sauce on a tortilla shell. They are good. And you got to try the new lime ranch dressing, too. It is really something else. At Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. How about Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you like it. Oh, my goodness. Great French fries. And the patio's open. Good weather. And music is going to be out there on the patio Friday and Saturday evenings. Oh, my. What a great place to dine. And don't forget, they've got the friendliest servers, dedicated staff, great menu items all the time at Steve-O's in Hayburn. How about burgers, etc.? 2 locations serving you. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland and Burley. Root beer floats only 99 cents after 3 p.m. I'll take 10, please. Oh, my goodness, that sounds good. Delicious burgers and taco salads and cheeseburgers and onion rings. And, oh, my goodness, every Sunday they have shrimp dinner specials at the Burley store. Oh, yes, at Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, in our continuing search for great food, the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, all the milkshakes, all the different flavors. My goodness, chicken fried steak sandwich will knock your boots off delicious. Famous Farmer Brown burgers, ranch burgers, fries, and sauce. What are you waiting for? Head on over to the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And those are just a few great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. Oh, my. Going to be warm. And try to stay cool. And don't forget the Big Idaho Regatta coming up this weekend. Caller, I got 1 minute real fast. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
Under these trade deals and this Obamacare, I feel like we're down to a one-party system called the Republicrats. What's going on?
I call them the Indemlicans, the Independents, Democrats, and Republicans. Indemlicans, that's my new word. I've phrased that a week or so ago. I think everybody's lumped together. Nobody's got any guts to stand out for themselves. Nobody's got any guts to stand up for us. And I think they're all a bunch of meek sheep and a great big pile back there. I don't like anything that's going on.
Well, we're going to get the big cost increase there pretty soon between this trade deal and this Obamacare.
You better believe it.
It's right in the pocketbook.
And elsewhere. Thank you, Tony. Yeah. God bless you, my dear friend. I appreciate it. Got to run to the news. Coming up next from CBS, and the lovely Debbie Critchfield will be coming up after the news. Don't you go away. Oh, goody, goody, goody. I got to confess to you that I'm a little excited right now because it's the last hour of the program for this week. And then I can get outside and enjoy the weather. I'm looking forward to it. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, with, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Excuse me, a little hay fever. I love this time of the year. The Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. What have they got today for a special? Asian ginger chicken wraps. Ooh, that sounds good. Served with choice of side and super salad. Oh, it's going to be great. Always is. Specials, the menu choices, great people serving you. Super environment at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. You stop in and see those good folks today, okay? Let's see, what else have I got here real quick that I've got to remind you of before we have. We're going to give away at about maybe 10 minutes to 11, I'm going to give away another Dairy Queen Blizzard for June Dairy Month. And I personally want to take the time right now to thank the United Dairymen of Idaho and their super nice people up there for everything they did to help promote June Dairy Month with all the cows, the little rubber cows, and the cowbells and the floor mats and everything. We really appreciate what they did on behalf of June Dairy Month for 2015. Thank you, United Dairymen of Idaho. And let's see, what else have I got here? Don't forget the Idaho Regatta coming up, of course, this weekend at the Burley Golf Course Marina. We talked about it last hour with Christy. Absolutely all kinds of fun all weekend long. Right there on the river. Burley Golf Course Marina, the 40th annual Idaho Regatta. Holy buckets, are they going to have a lot of fun. You know, we are blessed on this program because on Thursdays we have a couple of very, very interesting segments, and one of which is School Days in Cassia County. And I'd like to thank the sponsors of School Days in Cassia County. First and foremost, the Child's World and Ambulatory Surgery Center. At a Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, June is their annual Everything for Babies and Toddlers sale, and you'll find most items 20 to up to 70% off. Holy cow. And they've got baby registries for 10% off for your shower guests. And there's a great big sale going on summer dresses right now and play clothes at a Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley with the outpatient surgery procedures like colonoscopies and carpal hand tunnel surgery, many, many other procedures that you need to check on and save money. At the Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland in Burley, the number to call, 677-8888, and they bring you School Days in Cassia County. And right now, speaking of School Days in Cassia County, we have with us the Cassia County School Communications Officer, and that is, of course, the lovely Debbie Critchfield. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's all you're going to say? You're not going to say, boy, welcome to a hot summer day, or what's that? I still didn't hear you. You were talking under me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said you're the boss. I follow what you wanted to talk about.
No, there is never a woman that has ever admitted really that someone else is the boss. Now, come on, Debbie.
I'm very secure in myself. It's all good.
Okay.
Actually, I do have 3 things I want to talk about.
Okay, what do you want to talk about this morning, first and foremost?
First and foremost, I think it's important to mention and alert folks that the school board on Tuesday night appointed a new trustee in the person of Jeff Rasmussen.
Okay.
And the quick history of that is Steve Lynch, who is the current chairman, has served very diligently on the school board for the last 14 years. And I'm sure he has a great politically correct reason for wanting to pass the baton, but I'm sure he's just tired, mostly.
Okay.
And in his zone, which is Zone 2, there was not any candidates or any folks that were interested in running for the election, and it came and went in May. And Idaho Code allows the board to appoint someone from within that zone. Fast forward to Tuesday night, they had accepted some applications, conducted 2 interviews, and Jeff Rasmussen.
Well, congratulations. And a very nice man, a very knowledgeable man, too.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. The role of a trustee, I think that it is one of the under-the-radar positions in the community, and yet it impacts and has influences in so many directions, not just in the classroom, but it's important to have good folks that care and have the time.
Okay, well, congratulations on that selection of Jeff Rasmussen to that board. And now I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on over at Malta. What about the water situation? You know, I have had many conversations with people over the last couple of months about the water situation and the school and everything. So bring us up to speed, would you please?
We are at a good place as of this week. Last week we received the letter of certification approval from the DEQ saying that the installation and the management and the usage of the filtration system that we put in many, many months ago meets their standards, meets their codes, and we have been waiting on this. And but actually we've been using the filtration system. It's been in use and in play since October, but we haven't been able to allow students to drink any of the water there or visitors. We've still been providing bottled water up until school was out. Mm-hmm. But with this formal approval and stamp of certification, when we start school in the fall, the water fountains and showers and all of those things, we're good to go. This is good news as we move forward.
Let me ask you this, though, Debbie, and I'm sure that people are forming this question right now, and I'll ask it. What about testing? Is it going to be by a daily testing? Is it going to be bi-weekly, bi-monthly? Are you going to be making sure that there are no glitches? Is there going to be testing in the water?
Yes, and we have continued to test since October when we installed the system, and we have yet to this point come up with any kind of a negative or a concerning reading. The levels have been normal. They've been well within the standards set forth in the requirements, and we're feeling confident. However, we will still be vigilant in making sure that the water is where we need it to be. The ultimate fix is coming shortly, however, which is we will abandon that entire plumbing system. And when we start construction in the fall on the new high school in Malta, we will have completely new piping and all of that. So by the fall of next year, we're going to be in great, great shape.
Okay. So all things up at Raft River in the Malta area are kind of, they've received a thumbs up, in other words, right?
They have, as far as the water is concerned, absolutely.
Okay.
Like I say, we've had not only our own district people conducting samples, but we've also worked with our local health department. And then certainly when you're working with the DEQ, the process, you want to make sure before you say, yep, go ahead, get the water, take a drink, that we've done everything like we should. We followed all of the regulations, and we're there. We have the certification, and we're feeling good.
You know, this problem, and it has been a problem, has been something that has been a thorn in everybody's saddle blanket for a long time, and it's really refreshing to hear that maybe it's finally solved.
I agree with you, and I don't blame people in Malta for being frustrated, and different things have been said and different things have been tried over the years, and we are feeling good that this is a fix, combined with getting a new school, that we're set for the future. Okay,
now what about the new school? Do you have anything you want to say about that?
I actually do. So we had, during the selling of the bond process, we had gone out to the school and proposed a brand new standalone school. The budgets were set to reflect that kind of a structure. When we hired some geotechnical engineers out of Idaho Falls to come and sample our soils out there, one of the things that we were concerned about was building it in the right place. There has been some settling issues out there, and I know the LDS Church has dealt with some things with their foundation. And we wanted to make sure that where we placed that school was the ideal location, including structurally. That we weren't building it on a lava tube or, something like that.
Right.
Well, the good news came back, and where the school is currently, that whole area is suitable for the long term and is structurally sound and all of those things. And so it presented some options to the folks out there that we thought were worthy of presenting to the community, which we did a couple weeks ago. We presented 3 options. One, which was you can still have your standalone school. The money's still there. We're not doing anything with the money. We can take the footprint of the existing school, add on to it, tear everything down to the studs, and build from there. Or we can keep that same footprint and tear down some sections of that school and build new studs there. And in that process, we had a lot of feedback, either through emails, phone calls, personal visits, and we asked folks to weigh in. And in the end, the consensus and the majority favored a complete overhaul/remodel of the existing school. And when I say that, I do need to mention that includes completely new mechanical, electrical, plumbing. It gets torn down to the studs and rebuilt.
Okay, now I want to understand this myself. So basically, in common language, there would not be a raising of the existing school, but a basically gutting and refurbishment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Again, with all new systems. And we're talking new walls, new floor, new light fixtures, everything is new. And we presented that as one of the options to the community and solicited input and feedback, and it came back positively for that option, which happened to be option number 2 of the 3 that we presented. This isn't a board decision. This isn't anybody coming out and you have to do this. What do you folks want to do with the money that has been allotted to your community? And this was the decision that was made.
So the demolition of the building currently as we see it and have appreciated it will not take place, but the actual refurbishment of the internal parts will be done in its entirety.
Yes, along with an addition. One of the issues that we were addressing was a lack of classroom to incorporate the junior high kids. They're currently in the elementary school, and the 7th and 8th graders in the kindergarten through 6th school was not a good mesh for many reasons. And we needed to accommodate those students, and so along with a complete refurbishment, we will still build additional classrooms and an additional gym. It will just go out to the west of the existing school. One of the things that folks liked about this option was that it kind of kept the campus together. They share one lunchroom. Many students walk across the street to attend seminary. There was no disruption of parking lots. There were some other advantages in doing that.
Okay, now what about the rest of the bond and the rest of the refurbishment for the district schools? Bring us up to speed on that.
we're in the bidding process. We have some bid packages that are out there for 2 student drop-offs, one at Dworshak and one at White Pine. We would like to have those done before school starts. That's the goal. Aside from starting in the fall with Maltas High School, we'll also begin on an ag shop for them and an ag shop in Oakley. And then as soon as we get those started, we are off and running for the projects that will start in the spring, which would include a new elementary school in Burley and in Declo, classroom additions in Oakley. We have an aggressive timeline. We have a lot of projects, nearly $37 million worth invested, or that will be invested, and the district is committed to getting them done on time and doing them well.
All right. Debbie, you do a wonderful job as the communications officer, and I always look forward to having you on the air. Straight shooter, I appreciate it. Debbie Critchfield, Cassia County School communications officer. Anything else to wrap up the program today?
Have a great day.
Okay. And have a great weekend, too. Thank you very much.
You too.
All right, Debbie, we appreciate it. Brought to you by, of course, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. That's, of course, Cassia County School Days. And we want to say thank you to a lovely lady, Debbie Critchfield, for being on the program this morning. Oh, my. Once again, don't forget, in just a few moments after the bottom of the hour, and we're going to have Vicky's Country Garden come on and talk about all the heat, all the flowers, all the plants in your garden. So don't forget about that coming up in just a very few moments. But right now, we're going to go to the phone lines, and I believe that we have Kyle Cheney on the phone. Kyle, are you there? Good morning if you are.
Hello?
Hello, Kyle. What you doing? Zeb Bell here.
Oh, I'm just setting a backsplash right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. We are putting you on the hot spot this morning instead of Whitney, so you get a chance to just tell the world about how wonderful Cheney Flooring and Home Design is. So the show is yours, Kyle. Take it away.
Well, that's pretty wonderful. We've got a lot of brand new styles of tile in right now. We've got some new carpet lines coming in and a lot of new hardwood that we just got in. We've got a lot new decor, and then we've also got some other things that we are in the works to get processed. Is there anything in specifics that you'd like to know?
Yeah, one of the things that people might want to know and understand is that you and Whitney and the rest of your staff, you can really answer a lot of questions about maybe somebody will come into you and say, well, we're not sure what we want to do. We're not sure how we want to arrange this room or have this kitchen fixed up. And you folks can give them a lot of ideas. Explain that a little bit, if you would.
Well, Whitney and the other staff, myself, we try to pride ourselves on being able to keep up to date on trends. And what we are doing currently right now, I've got Whitney and then also our store manager that they're enrolled with the New York Institute of Design, and so trying to keep up to date. I mean we don't want to kind of fall into trends where everything is out of date, and then in 2 years you're looking at magazines and you're wishing that you had what was in the magazine.
Okay.
And so what we're doing is we're trying to stay ahead of the curve by exploring other options instead of just waiting for things to come to us. We're actively searching out new designs and new techniques of doing things so we can have the best design quality.
Well, let me ask you this, Kyle. I mean, I don't know that much about interior design. I mean, I'm just an old cowboy. That's all I am. But when you talk about maybe a country atmosphere or maybe a modern contemporary, how do you keep up on all the different styles of houses and design?
It takes a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot of extra effort that has to be put into it. Like I just said, we have part of our staff in design school just to keep up with current trends. We're actively searching the internet for different design styles. We constantly change up the products that we have. I mean, we've got stuff that was real popular a few years ago, but it's not popular now. So that gets taken off the showroom floor, thrown in the basement, and we bring new stuff in.
I see.
We've still got it available if that's what you like, or if you want to match something you have existing. But we're constantly evolving. We're constantly changing our product line to keep up to date with that contemporary feel, or that new country feel.
So if somebody comes to you and they say, hey, we want a living room that looks like it was hole-in-the-wall gang for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, or if somebody comes to you and says, boy, we're really infatuated with the African style of living, maybe like the high desert or whatever, you've got all these ideas and different plans to decorate their home, right?
Oh, we've got everything you can think of. And if I don't have it in my showroom, I will get it for you. I mean, right now, Whitney is out in Oakley meeting with a client who wanted some really nice travertine tile that I didn't have sitting on the showroom floor. So we made an order. I had a guy from Boise bring it down to me yesterday, and she's out there showing it right now.
Okay. And I was really impressed with the different little tips on a per-day basis, what to do, how to utilize different rooms, how to utilize different styling of the room and everything, like Tile Tuesday, and We Can Do It Wednesday, and like today, Thrifty Thursday. Where did you get all the knowledge for this type of thing? Did you go to college for this?
I actually went to college and have a degree in accounting.
Oh my.
So it wasn't really as far as with the flooring, but I'm a third-generation floor installer. My grandfather did it. My dad still does it up in the Boise area. I've got multiple cousins that do it. And so as far as myself, I was just kind of born into it. But I mean, a lot of the design and a lot of those things come from Whitney, and then also our store manager, Sierra. They're the ones that kind of take a hold of all that stuff.
Is it kind of like somebody will come in the store, or they'll sit down with you on the phone, and you can kind of drum up some ideas in your mind just by what they say they want? Is that where all these ideas come from?
A lot of them do. I mean, you can explain the layout of your house, and I can pretty much visualize what you're going to do, and then I can create flow patterns in my mind. And then if I do meet with you at your house, and I can visualize it even from just some bare studs.
Okay, and I like the slogan that you have, whatever you need to make your house a home. And to me, that sounds really personalized and individualized, so that family, they know that they're getting kind of a first-class service as far as what you care about them is what you're doing just for them. Is that right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we all live somewhere, but we want it to be a place like a sanctuary from the world. We want to be able to be still safe in that place, but we also want to be comfortable. And so when we can turn just a blank canvas, like a new house or a house we just purchased, into something that you personally feel is your very own, I mean, that's something that we strive for.
All right, now, I'm going to let you do the address and talk about the Blue Door. This is your turn right now to tell everybody where to go and what your hours are at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Go ahead, Kyle.
We are located at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, and we do have a bright blue door. We painted it blue so it sticks out so you can see it very well. And our hours are Monday through Friday from 9 to 6 and Saturday from 10 to 4.
All right. This is Kyle Cheney along with his lovely wife and the staff at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Like he said, look for the Blue Door or give them a call at 678-6945. Kyle, you did a fantastic job. God bless and have a nice, warm weekend, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Really good folks, and I appreciate their business because they sponsor our weather forecast every morning when we start the show at 8:06. So thank you very much to them. Oh my, what else have I got cooking here? I think we're about ready to send this back over to our main studios, to Wheels and the rest of the crew, and then we're going to come back with Vicky's Country Garden. Don't you go away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Best.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. And right now on Zeb at the Ranch, we're going to celebrate having a lovely lady back on our program. And that's the lovely Miss Vicky of Vicky's Country Garden at 185 South 600 West of Paul with Gardening for Idiots. Good morning, Vicky.
Good morning, Zeb. Are we tolerating the heat all right?
Yep, I'm just like a big old beached whale. I pour water over me all the time.
We kind of get that way, don't we?
Oh, my. It kind of came upon us rather fast, and I know yesterday, and I'm not embarrassed to say this, we had some friends after the program stay for lunch, and then Mom and I, old Goober and I, went outside and sat in the shade, and yours truly fell asleep. It felt kind of good.
Yeah, it's come upon us pretty fast. It's a little hotter than we normally are at this time. So we just kind of have to work with it and kind of be a little careful with it is the main thing right now. Don't stay out in the heat too long, and don't get keep yourself hydrated and also your plants hydrated.
Well, that was my question. What about the garden? And let's talk about the plants first for your garden. Is this heat going to stress them out? Are they going to burn up? What do we do?
No, the heat's going to be fine. They're going to grow really fast. They are. The tomatoes and stuff, you're going to see quite a bit of growing going on with everything. It's not going to stress them out unless they get too wet or too dry. That's the key right there. Is the water factor on them. So it's like we've talked before. Use water in the evenings. Saturate them, deep water them, get them a good drink. Not just 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there. Deep water them good of an evening and then leave them alone.
Okay. All right. And is the same true with all the flowers and everything, too?
Same thing as with flowers. If they can absorb that moisture in the evening when it's cool and they're not fighting and struggling against the heat, so they can literally just like us, they can get themselves hydrated really good and be strong enough to go through the heat. Some of your big plants like your squash and things like that, those leaves might wilt because they're great big leaves, and they might wilt a little bit in this hot. But that doesn't mean necessarily that they're dry. If you've watered good at night and they wilt a little bit, you wait and watch. When the sun goes down, they'll stand right back up again.
Okay.
They'll be fine. So don't just run out there and throw a whole bunch more water on just because you've got a little bit of wilt. Check the dirt around them before you add water. Don't just throw water on because they look a little sad.
All right. Now, a lady sent me a question, and I'm not sure about the entirety of the question because I did have a little trouble trying to read the handwriting. But it was basically, when I hoe the garden for weeds, do I have to stay a certain distance away from the plants because I might hurt their root growth?
Well, you shouldn't be hoeing that deep that you're going to hurt root growth. Of course, you don't. Sometimes it's best to just reach down and pull the weeds around right up next to the plant because sometimes you can get that hoeing blight, and that's kind of a bad one. When you're hoeing along and all of a sudden the plant falls over and it's like, oops.
Yeah, oops.
Shouldn't have been quite that close. Sometimes if you've got weeds right up around the plant, just pull them out by hand and kind of work them that way. But you shouldn't be hoeing that. If you have to hoe that deep, you better be pulling weeds rather than trying to hoe them out. You need to get the roots out. But no, aerating that soil does nothing but just makes those roots get a breath of air, and they do a lot better growing when the soil can be opened up and aerated a little bit.
Now, tell everybody, the actual maintenance and care of a garden. I don't care how big it is or how small it is. They've got to kind of watch for things to maintain that the crop gets the ideal moisture and the sun and not the weeds, right?
Exactly. And, gardening, you don't have to spend 24/7 out in the garden, but you do need to walk through your garden on a daily basis and check for bug damage. Literally look at your plants, and they're going to tell you if they're stressing. You're going to be able to see the difference in the color. If they're too dry, spuds will go real dark. They get like a black green. So do tomato. They get real dark, and then it's time to water them up again. Plants, you have to get to know your plants because they will tell you when they've got a problem. If they're too yellow, you've got a disease, you've got a bug working on them, you've got too much water, then stop and figure out where you're at on it. But it's a matter of checking your garden on a daily basis, walking through it, keep the weeds out because they suck all the nutrition away from your plants, so the weeds are growing great and the plants are going without. So you want to keep the weeds out so that your plants can actually utilize the fertilizers and that you're putting down.
Now, as a gardener, you should also know that you've got a lot of enemies out there that want to do away with your gardening and the success of your garden. And along with bugs, identify the other enemies that people should be aware of.
Well, there's a lot of diseases. You have, of course, in our area, we fight blight a lot. We fight the fungus and, the powdery mildews and the different funguses that hit our trees and our plants and things of that nature. So you just kind of got to, like I say, look at the plants, and you'll see if those leaves are not looking healthy. You can tell if it's powdery mildew. It looks just literally like white powder laying on top of your leaves, kind of a fuzzy powder. Those things are all things that are going to stress that plant down and take the energy away from that plant, and you're not going to have healthy plants or happy plants.
Okay. Now, what is your tip of the day for gardens? I want to hear what this is going to be, especially when we're looking at next week of temperatures relatively staying in the hundreds.
Again, it's a water issue. Keep the gardens damp, not sloppy wet. You want them just nice and damp. You've got certain plants that need more water than others. Don't water everything just because you think you need a drink. Not everything in the garden needs one. Keep yourself hydrated and keep your plants nicely hydrated, and we'll come through this heat just fine. Not a problem.
You know,
Keep
Vicki,
your fertilizer's going up on them too. So.
All right. Now, Vicki, one of the things I really have learned to enjoy with Deanne outside is landscaping. And I'll tell you what, I enjoy it. I mean, I like to be a part of it, whether it's with the decorative rocks or whether it's making a little berm and making a flower bed there or whatever. I really enjoy that. And right now, looking at midsummer, if you will, right before the 4th of July, a lot of people are going to have friends over. There's probably a lot of interest in upgrading their landscaping project, is it not?
Well, there is. And a lot of people have the question, is it too late to landscape? Is it too late to plant stuff? No, it's not. You can plant. You just have to take care of it, just like we have to take care of it here at the greenhouses. So, I mean, it's a matter of, if you have a sprinkler system, set it to where it's going to water things right. And the first couple of weeks after planting the plant, make sure your watering's going right on it and make sure everything's doing good. But it's not at all too late to plant. And this is a really, a good time. And if you are planting, sometimes it's best to plant in the evenings when it's cool, so the plant can absorb the moisture and kind of have time to settle into its new home before 105-degree sun hits it.
Yeah, really.
And that type of thing. And it's easier on you, too. I'm really sorry, but if I'm planting, I'd rather be out there when it's cool in the evening planting than crawling around and digging in the dirt than when it's 100.
Oh, my, yeah. And what about all the decorative material as far as the rocks and everything else for a little bit of upgrade on their landscaping?
Well, the rock and stuff is a permanent issue. I mean, you can put that down and you don't have to keep replacing it. It makes it anytime you add landscape to your property, you increase your property value. It's amazing how much property value goes up with just a small little bit of landscaping. And if you're trying to sell a home, a little touch of new landscaping really brings attention to the owners, to the new facility, and people they notice it a lot more than if you just let things kind of go downhill.
One last question.
It's really a good time to get on it and get your landscaping done. And we've got everything. We've got some specials going on shrubs right now. We're going to be running weekly specials, working our way through shrubs. So there's going to be some 20% off of some different flowering shrubs and things like that every week. Just call in or come in and check with us and see what we've got on special.
Okay, now I got one more letter that came in, and I put a piece of paper over it, and I didn't see it until just now. But a lady had written in, and she said, I have never grown a garden before. I don't know anything about crops. I planted tomatoes, I planted some corn, and I planted some beans, and I planted some peas. How do I know when they're ready to dig up out of the ground and eat them?
Well, the beans you don't have to worry about digging them out of the ground because they produce up on top of the ground. So you're going to see those nice, long, slender beans, and you'll know when they're ready because, they're going to be, the beans will fill the pods out. Peas the same way. Corn, you're going to have your ears. You can always pull it down and check it just a little bit, Corn is one that needs to be side-dressed and refertilized again. About July, you need to come through with some good nitrogen on corn to make it keep growing and producing. It's a heavy, heavy feeder for nitrogen, so right now is a good time to come through. If your corn's 1 foot to 2 foot tall, give it an extra boost of fertilizer right now. Spuds, you'll know because you kind of have to know when you planted them, how long the days were, and then you just kind of dig lightly down to the side and see how many little taters are on down there.
Okay. And, of course, if they have any questions whatsoever, this lovely lady on the other end of the line, Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden, can answer them. Go ahead and tell us your hours and how to get to your place, Vicky.
All righty. Well, our hours are 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturdays, and we are open from 11 to 4 on Sundays. And we're right on the Burley-Paul Highway. You can't miss us. We're just right between Burley and Paul, and address is 185 South, 600 West. So, but just head towards Paul, and you'll find us on the Burley-Paul Highway.
All right, and
we are running a bunch of specials for 4th of July. Lots of everything's 50% off on annuals and vegetables. So if you want to spruce up, this is the time to come in and see us.
Absolutely. And if you go over there and you can't find Miss Vicky in all this hot weather, just look for a shade tree right there, and she's got a big lemonade, and she's sitting underneath the shade tree, right?
There you go. That sounds like a plan if it works.
Okay, Vicky.
Hot tractor.
God bless you and have a great week. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Zeb. See ya.
You bet. Take care. Vicky's Country Garden at 185 South, 600 West of Paul. And the number to call her, she's a nice, nice lady. 438-5663. Vicky's Country Garden. Really nice people over there. Well, let's find out a little bit more about what the weather is going to be for the next couple of days. And we want to remind everybody the weather this hour is brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and the number to call, 324-7657. Oh, my. Your hometown meat cutter, locally owned and custom meat processor for over 20 years, changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. And they guarantee everything they sell. And they've got a hot summer barbecue special with beef that includes ribeye steaks, New York strips, pork with boneless pork chops, bratwurst. Oh, my goodness, you don't want to pass this up. A total of 50 pounds of meat for only $1.99. Check it out, barbecue special at Scarro's Meats in Jerome. And right now, here is the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. It's going to be another hot day as this high-pressure system is going to stick around for, at least until next week. Looks like sunny skies for today. Winds out of the south right around 12 miles an hour. Expect a high of 92 for today. Tonight, low of 57. Tomorrow, sunny and 95. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, expect triple digits. Anywhere from 100 all the way up to 105. So make sure you stay cool. Keep yourself hydrated. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Wow. Warm. Very warm. All right. Thank you. Brought to you by Scarro's Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. Don Scarrow and the rest of the crew. 324-7657. Changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. Thank you very much. Who wants to win a blizzard from Dairy Queen, either Burley or Jerome? By golly, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give away another blizzard for June Dairy Month, and our thanks go to Dairy Queen for helping us on this. And here is the question. This is an easy question this morning, and you can win that blizzard, and I'll just say you got to put the word that's missing in the sentence. A little bitty addition of blank added to a gallon of milk makes it stay fresher longer. A little bitty addition of blank added to a gallon of milk makes it stay fresher longer. What is that blank? Give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587, and you can win a blizzard from Dairy Queen, either in Jerome or Burley. All right. Caller, good morning. Your answer is...
Is it lemon?
No, but that was a nice guess. That was a good guess, but it's not the right guess. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. I'll read the question one more time. A little bitty addition of blank added to a gallon of milk makes it stay fresher longer. What is it, caller? Give me a jingle. Quick. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. For a free regular Blizzard from Dairy Queen. Come on. It's not that hard. Think about it. What do you add? Just a little bitty of this product to a gallon of milk to keep it fresher longer. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Salt.
Who is this?
Dorothy.
Is this Dorothy Silcox?
Yes.
You're ineligible today. You won yesterday.
No, the day before yesterday. I was going to ask you, how often can you win?
Well, I had it set up originally so that it was just going to be once per time, but now you gave the right answer, so here's what I'm going to do in fairness to the other callers. I'm going to say the next person that calls is going to get the certificate. How's that, Dorothy, to be fair? Is that okay?
No.
I'll buy you a Blizzard, okay? Thanks, Dorothy. God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Next person that calls, I'm going to give them the certificate for the Blizzard. Hurry, call 436-2244. And what is your name?
Salt.
I can't hear you. Repeat it again, your full name. Hello? I guess they're backing up and left. Give us a call, 436. I can hear you now. Go ahead and give me your full name.
Rick.
I can't understand it. Wheels, do you understand what he's saying over there?
I think he said Rick.
Rick what? I need your full name, Rick. Evidently. I'll just put Rick on. I don't have it. Wheels, ask him what his full name is and his address, and we'll mail him the certificate. Thank you. I had a lot of problem. I couldn't hear him. And we need to have full names, addresses. Wheels will pick that up. And God bless Dorothy Silcox. Dorothy Sharp. It was a pinch, a little bitty pinch of salt added to a gallon of milk keeps it fresher longer. And again, I want to say thank you to the United Dairymen of Idaho and all they did for us during June Dairy Month. Calls are welcome and appreciated. Give me a jingle on the landline. We will talk about any subject you want to talk about for the remainder of this program. I do have one thing I wanted to mention, and I heard about this earlier this morning. You know, there's been a lot of clamoring to have a woman's picture put on one of our $1 or $5 or $10 or $20 bills. Well, they decided they were going to take Alexander Hamilton off of the $10 bill and put a woman's picture on the $10 bill, but the feminist movement, they're not happy with that. And I heard earlier this morning that because they say the $10 bill is not used enough, that was a slap in the face to women by choosing to let them have a representative of the feminine side on a $10 bill. What? How do you feel and think about this subject? I mean, my attitude is this. There is a changing of our currency, and we're taking away Alexander Hamilton off the $10 bill to make allowance for and room for a noted woman in our American history. Fine, great, I'm all in favor of it. There's been a lot of ladies that qualify. But now the feminist movement said, no, that's not good enough because the $10 bill is not used enough. My attitude at that point is to take Lincoln off the penny and put the woman on the penny. I'm absolutely distraught that everything is never good enough. There's always got to be something more. There's always got to be something changed, and there's always somebody that is not happy enough with the net result. What are your thoughts about that? Give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, my goodness. Come on, give me a call, please. I'd like to hear from you. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, don't forget to your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, they are our major sponsor, and we certainly appreciate everything they do. You be sure and stop in with your vehicle for that free pre-trip safety check. I said it good that time. And don't forget visual inspection of your wheel alignment, and that'll indicate tire wear, visual inspection of front end components, visual inspection of your brake components, and much, much more. You be sure and stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. They are the 7 locations right here in southern Idaho with the best of tires, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, and great service. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. Wonderful people. We're just about out of time here this morning, but I urge you to give me a call. We still have time for more of your phone calls. And another item that I want to hit real quick, and in fairness to what's going on over at the Wilson Theater this Saturday, pianist Jim Hendricks, professor of music at Chicago State University, will be in concert at the historic Wilson Theater this Saturday, June 27th at 7 p.m. Now, tickets are going to be on sale. They are on sale at the Wilson Theater, the bookstore, Welch's Music in Burley, and at the door. And the prices are $5, 17 and under, $10 for adults, and a family ticket, $25. Don't miss this. And for more information, contact Gary Shoresman at 436-3982. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. What can I do for you?
Well, Zeb, I have an opinion about this woman on the $10 bill thing.
I'd like to hear it. Go ahead.
You need to do it. I realize there are a lot of women that could be recognized, but do you realize what it's going to cost to change that for everything that is involved?
Absolutely. It's going to be enormous.
Better use somewhere else.
You know who I'd like
history.
You know who I'd like to see as a woman represented on currency if they're going to change? Let me ask you this first of all. Who would be your choice as a woman representing the great women in history of this country? Who would be your choice?
Well, I won't go back too far, but Condoleezza Rice really kind of stands out for me.
Okay.
I know there are others, and the list is long, but I just don't think it's important or necessary. Certainly not necessary to spend that money. It could go somewhere else.
And what about the idea by the feminist movement that the $10 bill isn't good enough because it's not a frequently used currency? What are your thoughts about that?
I don't think you want me to express my opinion of the women's movement because I've never agreed with it. I always was paid as much as any man, any job I ever did, as long as I did my job. I've never had a complaint, and I think women are way out of line.
I like your style. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, I like that style. There's a lady that I can really, really respect. Thank you so much. Wow, what do we got next Monday on the program? Well, I'll tell you what, we got all kinds of goodies. Doug Johnson's going to be on, the Alliance Defending Freedom, Ron Ellis with BASF, and we're going to have the Cassia County Rodeo Queen, Becky Robbins is going to be on the program, and quite a few other segments. We've got a lot of things planned. But you know what? I want to urge to all of you, be careful out in this heat. I mean, you're running and playing, and the kids are playing baseball and soccer and running all over. Be careful, and really, like Gina said during our weather forecast, make sure you're adequately hydrated with a lot of water. Cool off, stay in the shade, don't get overheated. It is going to be very warm the next couple of days as we draw close to the 4th of July with temperatures in the triple digits. Please be careful. I have got to run to a dinner meeting, and so therefore I'm going to just leave about 1 minute early. 1 minute early. I already asked permission from Wheels, and we're going to say to you and yours, have a wonderful weekend, and always remember, Zeb at the Ranch right here every morning, Monday through Thursday at 8:06. We'll start saddling the horse and ride for 3 hours to 11 o'clock. If you would please tell your friends and neighbors that are out of this area to tune in on my webcast, which is zebbell.com. Hit the audio button and enjoy. And right here locally on K-Bar, 1230 a.m. So until next Monday at 8:06, you and yours have a safe, sane weekend. Enjoy. Wheels, God bless you, man. Good job. Zeb at the Ranch, we'll see you Monday.